preacher man.
Ain't no lot to see.
All those plans I made for myself, I got nobody else to lean on. Got so far with my head in the clouds, now it's time to get down.
The scariest day of the year is really coming up, not Halloween, it's Election Day.
Election Day, thank you.
So I came in dressed as a politician. And I think that, no, I get it, I have another costume too I could do quickly. It's futuristic, but it's Hunter Biden. Okay, thank you. How am I doing on time?
You made my boy sad. Little piece of advice. Don't break hearts.
Service is back. Hi, I'm Chubby Sykes. I'm the owner and operator of Sykes Service Center. Call us a gas station is like calling Dolly Parton a man. She's more than a man. She's a whoa man. And right now, while gas is only $1.14 a gallon, you can fill up and head off to anywhere you want. But probably gonna be closed.
Coming up next week, everybody run. The homecoming queen's got a gun.
I hear celebrity voices, like Jack Nicholson coming out of the glove box. He says, Hey, how long you gonna drive around today?
All right, a tribute to the late, great Rusty Nails, who was my partner for 30 years on radio. It's his birthday today. He passed just a few months prior to his birthday last year, but great to have him. Big Biz Show's on the air, 110 million broadcast home strong, 150 radio stations across the country. Let's not forget Armed Forces Radio Network. Love our troops. So, big welcome to the Day Trader Quattro today, because we have a special guest drummer, of course, Steve Ferrone, one of the original members of Average White Band, of course, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers for years and years and years. He's in a recording studio with us, and of course, he also played with, what's what I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, Mick Jagger. Steve, great to have you along. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate it. Really, really. Plus, just clear, you're not getting paid. So, anyway.
Non-union gig?
He does more for me for free than he should. I need to talk to your business manager, Steve. I can make you more money. Hey, great to have you along today. And we've had this guest on a number of times, or this company on a number of times. One of the shareholders contacted us about a year ago or a year and a half ago and said, you should interview them. They're right here in San Diego, and it's a really interesting company called Equillium, and they're publicly traded under the stock symbol EQ. Today we have Jason Keys. I believe you're the CFO, aren't you, Jason?
That's right.
Yeah, CFO of the company. First of all, thanks for coming in, because you guys are doing God's work with respect to the business that you're in. It's tough stuff. Talk about what Equillium's doing, where you've been, where you're going.
Yeah, so Equillium is a clinical stage biotech company. We're leaders in the field of immunobiology. Our mission's developing really high-impact, novel therapies to treat a variety of autoimmune and inflammatory diseases. The drugs we're working on are highly differentiated, different from anything else on the market or in development. They're very selective in terms of the biologic pathways that they target that are key to disease drivers. We're studying our drugs in a variety of different clinical trials as potential therapies for things like alopecia areata, celiac disease, lupus nephritis, graft versus host disease, and ulcerative colitis.
Are these all autoimmune diseases?
They are.
Everyone?
So it's a big challenge. It's a big problem for millions of patients. There's not a lot of.
I'm going to get email from across the country and across the world asking what an autoimmune disease is. So I might as well have you answer it, so I don't have to answer the email. If you were to define autoimmune, I know the types of autoimmune disease, but what does it do to the human body?
Yeah, it's essentially where a person's immune system attacks its own cells. It's where your immune system, goes overboard, if you will, attacks its own cells and leads to, differing pathologies depending on what organs and cells are getting attacked. So alopecia areata is where your immune system attacks the cells of your hair follicles, and thus, leads to baldness, hair loss.
So talk about where you guys are with your pipeline right now, because you've got a couple that are moving down the road.
Yeah, a lot of exciting clinical trials we're working on. One of our drugs, we're in a phase 2 clinical trial as a potential treatment for alopecia areata, as I mentioned. We expect to have initial data out of that trial in the second half of this year. We also have one of our drugs in a phase 3 clinical trial for acute graft versus host disease. So phase 3 trial is the last stage before approval. That trial is progressing nicely. We expect to have interim data from that trial next year sometime.
So when you're in phase 3, do you guys say to yourselves, okay, we know this works unless there's some bomb that's going to drop? Is this when you start thinking about your exit strategy, whether you're going to be the guys taking it to doctors' offices or you're going to hand it over to a bigger biopharma? I mean, when can you sort of, because these time frames are tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, phase 3 studies, depending upon the design and the indication that you're going after, can take many years. So you do have some time from initiation of a phase 3 until you file with the FDA. The FDA reviews it and gives you approval. So you have some runway, but you should always be thinking about your commercialization strategy, even upstream of your phase 3. But certainly, as you progress the phase 3, you'd want to know, well, are you going to launch it yourself? Or are you going to partner it with a big pharma?
So what's the best de-risking strategy for that? Or is there not a standard one-size-fits-all?
I don't think there's a standard one-size-fits-all. I think it depends on the indication. I mean, there's some indications, like graft versus host disease, that a small biotech could conceivably and viably launch itself. Others that are that primary care physicians treat, that hundreds of thousands of patients are part of that disease population. You'd probably look to someone who has a lot bigger army.
If you're launching it yourself, you got to buy a bunch of those roll-alongs, because the people walking to the doctor's office, they always walk in with those stowaways. Put that in the budget.
Yeah. Is the speed there? I know in your case you want it to go as fast as possible because you want to help people. That is the end result. Right. But do you like the inertia with where you guys are now?
Oh yeah, I think all of our trials are progressing quite nicely as we've planned. There are certain steps that you just can't short circuit. Now, when we saw what happened with the approvals of the treatments for COVID-19, how quickly those vaccines were approved, and a lot of that is a trade-off between
Didn't they get to the front of the line?
amount. Yeah, well, and it's managing risk versus investment. Yeah. So if you're a big company like Pfizer, you can sometimes parallel track things that a smaller company would kind of in series invest in.
Gotcha.
Start de-risking along the way.
Jason Keyes, our guest. He's the CFO of Equillium Inc. Their stock symbol EQ. You can go to equillium.com right here out of San Diego, California, where we broadcast out of. Here's my question. I get this question a lot of times when biotechs come on the company or come on the show. Is you guys don't have revenue while you're discovering stuff. How do you get investment? I'm not talking about public investment. The public stock market is an auction. They're just trading stock. But how do you guys go to venture capital or private equity or whatever? How does that happen? And they've got to be long-term players, right?
Yeah, I mean, we are constantly interacting with a variety of primarily institutional investors
that are criteria specific to biotech.
Yeah, most of them are life science, biotech, drug development savvy. That's what they invest in. Mm-hmm. They're public market investors, and we keep them apprised of the company, of our story, and when it's time to finance, to raise money for our R&D efforts, we will.
You show them all the data and convince them, just like you're convincing the FDA, this is safe, it's going to make it across the goal line, and then they ascertain based on their investment experience where they're going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, is that a bet they want to make to help finance a company and gain an equity stake and participate in the value?
And of course, this is why I always talk about how important management is, because whoever's driving the bus is what they're really investing in, right? The experience of the guys that got you there. Pretty sure me and Costa aren't going to be opening up a biotech firm, raise any money.
No, you never know.
Anytime soon. Jay, what is next for you guys? What's 2023 look like for you in so much that you can disclose? What are you looking most forward to?
Yeah, I mean, in biotech, it's all about getting to data as efficiently and as quickly as you can. I think what we're really excited about is this phase 2 initial data from our alopecia areata program. We also expect to get phase 1 data from a drug that is hopefully a treatment for celiac disease. We should have data from normal healthy volunteers at the end of this year, potentially celiac disease patients next year. Sure. And then the other programs that we're in, we've actually partnered that with a Japanese pharma company called Ono. And so we are within a...
what a great name for a pharma company. Oh, no!
Yeah. So that partnership is progressing quite well, and it's an option deal. Should they exercise their option, that would further strengthen our balance sheet and give us the funding to
Will you come back and continue to give us updates, man? It's always
absolutely. I love being here.
Thanks so much. Jason Keyes is his name. He is the CFO of Equillium EQ. And oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh yes!
Big Biz continues.